Anybody have a favorite song or anything that you liked about the album?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if you guys had a favorite yet.
That's like asking you to pick between your kids, though. You know,
like, I like Faithless and Stolen Old.
Thank you. Well, yeah, those are some of the favorites. What about you, Jake? What's your favorite?
Faithless.
Faithless? Jinx?
Heart of Fire, Faithless.
Okay.
I like Heart of Fire.
Heart of Fire?
Yeah.
Alright.
Guinness Hard.
Drag Me to the Grave.
Drag Me to the Grave. And I'm not going to pick one, so I like them all.
Who thought of the illustration for the album? It's so amazing.
Well, you know, Richard Villa, who does all of our artwork, initially, I had sat down with him about a concept for the album cover that ultimately we didn't wind up using because he listened to all the songs, and this was how he heard the songs visually. I basically said to him that, you know, we kind of had some ideas of the tone, and we wanted to keep things kind of black and white and minimal color, and the idea was that all of our album covers from Set the World on Fire on sort of look, in my mind, sort of like movie posters in a way, and they look like a trilogy of records, and I think that in terms of tonality and the style of the albums, the three records are kind of a trilogy in a way. So to me, this looks like a nice. It's also, if you look at, there's elements from all the album covers. There's elements from Set the World on Fire with the wreckage. A lot of the sand and elements around him, or the demon guy, are similar to stuff from Wretched and Divine. The idea was that there would be a character that was kind of the antithesis of the shadow characters on the cover of Wretched and Divine. So his name is Legion, and he's supposed to be a representation of all of the kind of Legion of the Black elements from the last record, kind of embodied into one big, crazy-looking Batman devil guy.
Really awesome.
I grew up listening to a lot of Metallica, so like working with Bob Rock was, you know, really awesome to see the Black Album and all the albums after, and so it was good kind of revisiting all of that for me, listening to that when I was a kid. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, kind of same boat for me. Metallica, Pantera, that kind of stuff.
I think more than anything, it was just listening, not necessarily to particular bands, but records that Bob had done to try to get the sonic qualities of the reason why we wanted to work with them in the first place. And there's even stuff that wouldn't immediately come to mind in terms of influence for us, but like groups like Our Lady Peace, who we did a record with, and obviously Motley Crue, and obviously Metallica, but also the Cult and elements of different types of music that he had done. Because when you work with somebody that's got a very specific sound or style in terms of what they do sonically, you want to try to achieve the best of what they have. And so, at least in their toolbox. So for me, it was more just listening to the elements of different kinds of music that could, if we were able to cast the light of those sonic qualities onto our music, that it would enhance it. So, and then I'm always just listening to my general influences, most of which are pretty well documented. But we've always been pretty open about the influences that we have, and we kind of wear them on our sleeve. A lot of bands try their best, particularly younger bands try their best to have the perception that they invented everything and that they are somehow, you know, sort of omnipotent, like we are the music gods and whatever. And to us, it's always been very clear that we are influenced by these different sorts of bands. And you know, it's been something that for us has been an easy target for people to make fun of, or whatever is the, you know, the associations with, say, Motley Crue or whatever else. But we wear it proudly. We know that if it weren't for the forefathers and rock and the bands that came ahead of us, we wouldn't have existed. We've always tried to make every record different. You know, we don't want to make the same album twice. I think anybody that's listened to all of our records, there's certainly a theme musically, but it doesn't sound like the same album over and over. As a kid growing up, I always liked artists that gave me something new and I could grow with them and I could evolve with them, and rather than completely disenfranchising myself from their art or how their growth of the band went, I hope that as everybody that has listened to us gets older and as everybody that listens to us you know, changes in their life circumstances, that we can grow as a band with you, you know, because your job might change or your life might change, or, you know, some of the younger fans, your school might change or whatever, but hopefully the music can stay with you as an impactful, positive thing in your life, because I know life can sometimes suck. So I think that, you know, that's probably the most